I'm Boo.
I'm Sahar. Nice
Nice
to
to
meet
meet you.
you.
How are you doing today?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
So, how can I help you today?
Yeah, it's been really hard for me to lose weight, pretty much all my life. So I really just want to focus on how I could just help myself nutrition wise with just eating better and being able to make the time for it. Because, I find myself not making enough time always to make healthy meals. And I also stress out a lot with school and everything together. So then,
I hear ya.
gets a little tough for me with
I
that.
see.
Yeah.
That's
So,
alright. I mean, I can relate. Yeah. So, do you mind if I take some note?
no, I don't mind at all.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Cool. So, to start, can you tell me a little bit more about your like typical day of
Yeah, sure. So I wake up typically between 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. It depends on what my schedule is like, especially because I go to Georgia State, I'm a student, and I also have a job. So they'll probably schedule me later and I'll sleep in or something. But my first meal in the morning is usually like a bowl of cereal or a piece of toast with cheese. But, sometimes I don't feel full from breakfast because sometimes I don't have time to make a big one. But then for some reason I can't seem to break it up enough so that I can like have a small portion, it's portion size basically that I have troubles with. And being able to make that portion size and not really have a lot of carbs because I know carbs are the issue here partially. So that's it. Like I wake up 5 to 7 a.m. and then I typically end my day very late, like 12. And there are days where I try to, pretend like the kitchen is a grocery store, and I turn off the light and say it's closed, so that I don't eat anything at night. But I still get tempted, especially because I love cookies and I, fast food, but thankfully, I try not to do fast food a lot now, but it's the sweets. That's my biggest issue.
Okay.
Because I love to cook and bake cookies.
That's good. I mean, at least it's homemade,
Yeah.
so it's always healthier. So,
Yeah, it is healthier.
so what time do you usually have breakfast?
Oh yeah, my first meal is always gonna be like before I go to school, which I always leave the house by 8. And so I have it around 7:30, 7:50, and it's always rushed because I always have trouble getting out of bed. My energy is just so low, and I always like find myself taking 20 minutes to actually get out of bed. And it's also hard planning time to work out because I like it. I like dancing and stuff, but I don't have dancing classes every day. And because I live so far away, I live in Roswell, the classes that they have on the days that I would want to do it, it's either during class or before class, and I'd have to run over to class afterwards. So I try and do it as much as possible, but I feel like I know I can do more.
So how do you manage to work out as much as you can?
Well, I generally like to take into account that I do walk around with my backpack, and if you don't mind me showing you, it's huge. Like,
Oh wow.
this thing
Okay, do you
is
mind if
about, oh, I don't mind at all. It's about
Okay.
25 pounds. I carry it
Very
around every day when I go to school, and I carry a purse sometimes too.
Okay.
It's not that heavy, but I take into that account. I take the stairs almost all the time that I have the chance around MARTA or the parking garages when I park here. And, when I do find the time to work out, I love basketball. So my classmate and I like to do an hour of basketball before one of our 1 o'clock classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But with the stress of work and school, it's been hard to keep up with that now.
Okay.
But I know that once the semester ends, I can be more active. And, when I have a busy schedule, I can manage 30 minutes at most a day. But I would want to do more, you know?
That's
It's
very good. I mean,
yeah,
I gotta comment you on using the stairs instead of
yeah,
the elevator and walking a lot. How far is it from your where you park or from Marta to
yeah.
school?
Oh, sure, yeah. So I park generally, I would say, a little bit under half a mile from the school building that I go to often.
Hmm.
And this one day I was very proud. I actually walked from a Chick-fil-A next to the CNN Center
Hmm.
all the way to the recreation
Oh
center,
wow,
and
that's
that was a
quite a walk.
mile. And my parents, they don't think I could do a mile with this backpack, but I actually can, especially because I love walking. I think it's the easiest way of getting some physical activity in.
Hmm.
And dancing is also my favorite.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I dance actually like at least 10 minutes a day because I'll be with my dogs and listening to music or whatever.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
A dog is great for like keeping you active
Oh yeah.
and
They're
things
really
like that.
sweet. Like no matter what, they'll come up to me and just like have the brightest face on. They keep me going. They really do.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So let's get back to your breakfast. So
Yeah.
you mentioned that you have cereals and milk and things like that, but I
Yeah.
don't see any fruits or vegetable. So
You're right. I used to be very creative when it came to breakfast, but with my busy schedule, it's gotten to a point where there will be days where I eat breakfast in the car, or I'll have an apple for breakfast instead of the cereal and milk.
mhm.
And I'd like to incorporate a little bit more fruits and vegetables because from the past, it actually worked for me. Maybe it was actually 2 months ago. I had a piece of toast with a very low fat cheese,
Mhm.
and it's called lebne, with a cup of fruit on the side. And I lost 10 pounds within 3 weeks
Wow.
from having that every day. And that was during our winter break that we have at Georgia State.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, I gained it all back from the stress that I've had the past couple of months and trying to manage my eating. I tend to overeat.
I see. Well, the recommended weight loss per week is from 1 to 2 pounds, and you lost like 10 pounds. You said within three
Yeah,
weeks. That's pretty admirable, but it's not necessarily healthy.
yeah,
So you just
I
need
know.
to be aware of that. And so what do you usually have for lunch and like what time?
Oh, yeah. The time frame that I usually try to keep lunch in between is like 11 to about 2 p.m.
Mhm.
And it all depends if I have
Excuse me.
time. Oh, it's okay. If I have time in between classes. My classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, like, I have a gap between 11 to 1. So I try to eat lunch anytime in between there. But if I don't have time, I'll eat it during class. But I'll still feel awkward because I feel like I have to bring something healthy or else I feel like I'm going to be judged.
Oh, well, a lot of people feel that way,
Yeah.
but you shouldn't.
I know. And I just packed a vegetarian lunch today, so I'm actually really excited. I'm trying to lower my protein intake in the middle of the day
Mhm.
because I've tried everything. Like, I mean, I've tried like a vegetarian meal in the morning, like I said, from winter break, or a vegetarian meal in lunch. And I think it's better that way for me because I don't really eat a lot in the middle of the day when I'm in school. But when I'm bored or studying at home, I tend to snack here and there. And it's hard for me to pick the healthy ones because I see the cookies and I want to have the cookies instead of the apple. But I feel like if I did it like I used to, where I used to have the apple and the peanut butter, it would be better than to have the cookie.
Absolutely,
Because I
that's
have
good.
natural peanut butter at home, but I don't eat it as much as I used to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely something we can improve on. So, your lunch is homemade or like you
Yes,
pre-packed it or?
it is. I actually pack it from my mom's cooking. She cooks actually very healthy. We only use olive oil. We used to use butter in a lot of our meals, but now we use olive oil, like the traditional Lebanese.
Mhm. That's
And
very good.
oh, thank you. And we saute meat in a pan with it, and then we steam vegetables or we bake vegetables in the oven. And that's how we try to do it. And I always follow what my mom makes. Very healthy. But then when it comes to her making a rice sometimes, or being nighttime is my enemy. Because I am more active at night than I am during the day. Because of school, I have to be active during the day. But if I had the choice, I would be up all night, and I would actually be snacking here and there. And like, it's bad. Like nighttime is my enemy. I try so hard to drink water and stay away from eating at night.
I
But
hear
yeah,
ya.
lunch is generally a sandwich or my mom's homemade meals. And the sandwich would be about this size. And I've been trying to focus on gluten-free bread because I heard that gluten-free bread, it has more complex carbohydrates than simple ones. So that means it'll like take longer to digest in my stomach instead of like eating regular bread.
So you think that that would keep you
More full.
satisfied longer?
Yeah, and it actually had less carbs when I looked at the nutritional facts panel than it did with the regular bread. The regular bread had so many more carbs. It had 2 times the carbs.
That's very good that you know how to read the nutrition fact. So would you say that you have the same thing for dinner?
Dinner, yeah, it depends on what we have in the fridge. If mom doesn't have any leftovers, we would make sandwiches, or we'll have cheese and bread. And I know bread is carbs, and I love baguette. I had a lot of baguette during spring break. We just had our spring break.
It's really good.
Yeah, my dad, he is pre-diabetic now, so
Oh,
I've been trying to focus more on myself too, so that I could be a good role model for him, because he travels a lot. So since he's pre-diabetic and my mom's overweight, my sister is unfortunately more than overweight. I wanna I wanna know what you can do for me so that I can help them too, because like if I could help myself, then I feel like I could help them.
very good. Well, well, thank you for sharing with me the information
Yeah,
that you just did.
yeah.
Um, so, do you have any snack or anything in between the days typically?
Yeah, so you're talking about snacks in between lunch and dinner or breakfast and lunch? Oh, yeah, sure, okay.
Like throughout the day?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I do. Actually, I have an apple sometimes between breakfast and lunch because then I'll get a little tired during class.
Hmm.
I am anemic, so I try to keep little things of food as much as possible so I can keep myself awake because I find it hard for me to stay awake in class sometimes. Um, but if I eat too much, it'll put a negative effect on me and I'll actually start to fall asleep. So I always try to keep it balanced, but as you can see, it's a little hard.
Yeah.
It's gotten to be the point now that I've almost given up because I feel like now that I'm 21, I feel like I'm always going to be this way and that I'm never going to change because I feel like with biology, I'm just going to stay this way.
You shouldn't feel that way because you're still very young, and if you if you try hard enough, you will lose weight. Um, I've seen success in using this particular approach. If you don't mind me sharing with you.
No, I don't mind.
So you've mentioned that your dad is pre-diabetic
Yes,
and your mom and sister is overweight.
yes.
Okay, so what you can do is you can try to um, cut back on sugary treats like cookies or anything that loaded with like
Cake.
artificial sweet. I'm not saying that you have to like stop eating them at once. You can just like cutting back a little. So instead of like having 2 cookies per day, you can have like one and a half, and save the other half for like the next day or something. And also, do you have any drinks rather than water?
Well, I actually have cut out juice almost completely.
Hmm.
But on occasion, like if my mom's having a glass of wine, I like to pretend like I'm having wine and have a glass of uh, apple juice or grape juice. But I try not to have those a lot because they actually make me want more sweets, especially apple juice or chocolate milk. I don't put chocolate in my milk anymore because it actually made me want more sweets.
That's very good.
Thank you. So I mean, I can tell from your arms, you know about how to build muscle. Is there anything you could tell me like how I could do it? Cause like I weightlift, but I feel like there are other ways I could do it that are easier, but also get better results.
Okay, well, usually I don't eat. I mean, I would eat throughout the day, and then like 2 hours before working out, I would not eat anything so that I
Oh
won't feel
yeah.
full.
Do you work out like later on? Cause I work out in the morning, but I find myself tired when I wake up and I work out first thing. I find myself tired rather than energetic.
I feel the same way. I'm more of an evening person, so
Yeah.
I work out mostly in the evening.
Oh, so you suggest actually just work out later on instead of
Well,
in
it
the
depends
morning?
on your schedule and how you feel throughout the day.
Oh, okay.
But for me, it works if I just go to gym in the afternoon. I mean evening.
Oh, okay.
Um, so you mentioned that you do drink apple juice and grape juice and things like that. So are they homemade or out of a can or?
Oh, well, actually, it's not even like a part of my lifestyle very often. It's very occasional. So I I actually get them. I try to get the Simple Truth brand because they say it's organic, but the juices that come out of Egypt, I hear, are actually more natural than some of the ones that are in America. Because my dad told me that they are actually just squeezed oranges or chopped up apple in there instead of added stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, he says that, but it's hard to get a lot of the natural stuff because like I find it easier to just get one from the grocery store and be done with it. But that's okay. I really appreciate your time. I think I know what I need to do. I just can't organize my time enough to do it. That's all.
So why don't we just set a small goal
I
for
think
like
that'll be
the next
best.
2 weeks? So how would you say um, what you can do to improve your diet after our?
Well, I would think what I learned here, definitely to just lower the sweets intake and the carb intake.
Mhm.
And I think I'll just start with that. Lower sweets and carbs.
Very good. Can you be more specific?
Oh well, I guess no more, not a lot of cookies. Like I guess just twice a week one cookie instead of like every day a cookie. And yeah, so 2 times a week I'll give myself a cookie. I guess as a reward for a test or something. And then when it comes to later on in the day, I'll lower my intake of carbs because then I won't be using a lot of energy later on in the day because I'll be studying. I
Mhm.
wouldn't need it. So I won't have the rice at dinner. I'll just have vegetables and protein.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So one last question.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you that you're gonna keep the cookie intake that low?
Uh, I would say like a 3.5. I
Okay.
guess because I feel like I can do it. I just have to believe in myself. But it's been hard for me because I feel like it's just been, cookies are just so wonderful. So,
I
but it's bad. So I think I'm more confident now.
know. Okay, very good.
I think
So
3.5. I'm gonna try a little harder. At least stop it maybe
well, I don't think
two
you
times a
should.
week.
I don't. I don't think it's necessary that you stop it at once, but you
Okay.
can try to cut back just a little,
Okay.
and then eventually you can, cut it down. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, maybe we can make it within the next 3 months. Yeah, within the next 3 months that I completely lower to the actual minimum of sweets.
Okay, very good.
Okay,
So,
great.
so I'll see you back in 2 weeks,
Yeah, that'd be great.
and let me hear the good news that you're gonna have less cookies than you did.
Yeah, so I guess in 2 weeks I'll try and have like, only 2 times a week of cookies instead of every day.
Okay, very good.
Okay, great. It was very nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure. Thank
All
you.
right, you have a wonderful day.
You too.